Good morning. Thanks for joining us for the Ag Report. The Montana Stock Growers Association is working to get more local beef into local restaurants. Earlier this month, the stock growers partnered with the High Horse Saloon in Billings for an event featuring an 8-course dinner, all with Montana beef. After eating about as much as we could stand, I spoke with High Horse Saloon owner Reed Pyburn about why he's partnering with the stock growers to bring more Montana beef to his customers.
Friends and neighbors and the community have already spoken up and said we want local beef, and we can put plans in place to make this happen. This has to be something that can be sold to a lot of restaurants. The ranchers of this great state have put the time into make the genetics work for all of us. What I'm doing is really getting their work to the masses.
Well, recent gains in the wheat market have given us a touch more optimism, but really this market has trended lower since July. On the outlook for 2024, grain market analyst Luis Gartner with Spectrum Commodities told me that although Russia continues to hold down wheat values, there are some factors that could benefit prices here over the next 6 months.
We do have the European Union struggling with some of their plantings. Of course, Ukraine continues to shift acres away from wheat. Russia looks like winter's going to get off to a pretty rocky start for them, and they can see some serious winter kill. Here in the U.S., we're in a much better position, moisture-wise. So it puts us in a competitive position.
Well, thanks for joining us for this morning's Ag News. We'll see you back here shortly for the markets.
We asked Montana farmer Walt Sales about the challenges of mental health in agriculture.
Another drought. There always is. There's always going to be another something. I grew up in a generation of you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps. But it's become evident is what do you do if you can't even find those bootstraps? If you need to talk to somebody, go to beyondtheweather.com for free counseling for Montana ag producers.
Welcome back to the Ag News. The Endangered Species Act turned 50 years old in 2023. Jonathan Wood of the Property and Environment Research Center told me there are far too few success stories to celebrate for the ESA over the last 5 decades, so I asked him what needs to be done to change the outcomes of the ESA.
To date, only 3% of endangered threatened species in the United States have recovered and been formally removed from the list. All of the regulations are geared towards making species and their habitat a liability for private landowners rather than an asset, and that is fundamentally backwards. Most species have been on private lands for their habitat. They're not going to recover unless landowners are happy to see them around. So we need to do a better job of, instead of penalizing the ranchers that are responsible for conserving species, rewarding them for that.
Well, turning to our markets, cattle futures found late session strength on Friday and finished $4 to $6 higher for the week. Now we're looking to the cattle on feed report on Friday. Cash-fed cattle last week $1 to $2 lower on the hoof from $167 to $168, dressed $267 to $270. The calf market showing some healthy signs of recovery at the Glasgow Stockyards. 3-weight steers topped out at $397, 4-weights at $355, 5-weight steers ranging $272 to $315, and 6-weights $257 to $267. Light numbers in Newell allowed lambs to sell lower, 70-pounders $228 to $245, 80-pound lambs $206 to $212. And with the recent volatility, the wheat market did lose ground last week. The first week of December did yield the highest one-week total of wheat export sales since June of 2020, and a drop in the dollar index on the perception that the Fed's rate hike cycle has come to a close does provide potential support. Well, that's going to do it for today's Ag News. Have a great week.